algebra actually isn't that scary. Have you just started algebra and you're suddenly wondering, what on earth are all these numbers and letters suddenly doing together? I thought maths was about numbers, not letters, not the X and the Y and the Z. It's supposed to be about like 1, 2, and 3. Why have they suddenly started complicating things? If you're wondering this, you're not alone. Most people think about this when they first start doing algebra. But what you probably don't realize is that you're actually already using algebra. Most people are. You might just not realize it. Another way to think of algebra is to think of just some number. When we think of algebra, we get confused because all of a sudden there's numbers and letters mixed together. But really, all that the letters are is just a way of explaining the numbers. So it's some number, but I actually don't know how much, is really too long to write in a math equation. And this is the point of algebra. Algebra is just a faster way of writing some number, but I actually don't know how much in an equation. And that is what we'll call A. So if you think of that in your head, algebra suddenly becomes a lot easier. So instead of writing, if I have 2 of some number, don't know exactly how much, and it equals 4 things in total, and how many do I actually have? What is that number? Now, you probably already think about things like this. So what we want to do now is to be able to turn that into algebra. And so when you look at the algebra, you can translate it back again. Because algebra, the only hard part about algebra is learning how to put it in words. So instead of saying, if I have 2 of some number and it equals 4 things in total, then what is that number? We can say, okay, I have 2 of some number. We've called that number A. So if I say I have 1A plus another 1A, I have 4 things in total. That's algebra. So that is saying I have 1 of this number and another 1 of this number and it equals 4. The other way you can do it, if you're comfortable with multiplication, is saying, okay, well I have 2 times some number and it equals 4. These are exactly the same equation. So if you look at this equation, all you have to remember is that when you're dealing with algebra, the numbers go with the numbers and the letters go with the letters. You can add numbers to numbers and you can add letters to letters. So in this case, if I have 1A plus 1A, that equals 2A, and that still equals 4. In the same way on this side, another way of simplifying algebra is to assume whenever a letter is right next to a number, that means multiplication. So sometimes we can assume that that multiplication is there. Now there's 2 ways to solve this equation. You can look at it in terms of numbers. So if I look at this and say, okay, if I have a total of 4 things, say 4 oranges, and I want to divide that into 2 of some number, I can look at that and say, well, if I split 4 into 2 of some number, the answer is 2. Therefore, A is equal to 2. Because all we're saying here is that 2 of some number is 4. And that is what we can see in this picture. A is equal to 2. The same way on this side, if you're comfortable with division, all you have to do is think about this equal sign as a seesaw. As long as you keep everything equal on either side, the equation will always be true. So to make it equal, we're going to use division. So we're going to say, okay, I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by 2. And now just remember here, you can divide numbers by numbers and letters by letters. So we're dividing the number in this case. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. And we come to the same answer. So really, when you're looking at algebra next time, don't think, what are these letters doing here? All they are is a faster way of writing some number, but I actually don't know how much. And that is our introduction to algebra.